My name is Will, and my project for the Wix Make-a-Saas Hackathon is called Mr. Mark, your new English writing tutor. The primary ideal customer or user of this project would be an international student working, studying, and living in an English-speaking country, such as Australia, where I live, or the US or UK. And the goal of Mr. Mark is to help people improve their written English. There are already solutions like spell checkers and grammar checkers, but usually they're pretty limited in their scope. They want to be like a quick fix, or they're kind of focused with the assumption that most of your writing makes sense, but you've just got a few little things that you need to fix, and they're not really there to help you improve your English over time, and they don't really look at the context or sentence structure of your writing, which Mr. Mark does. If you have better written English, it can help you get better grades in your essays if you're doing exams, or if you're working or trying to look for a job. Having better professional English will help you stand out and look more professional and be more hireable. So meet Mr. Mark. Mr. Mark is powered by ChatGPT, and here's how you can give him a go. First, you go to mrmark.io/tryit, and you put in your email address and whatever English writing you want Mr. Mark to give you some feedback on. After you hit submit and make a free account, then you can see the feedback straight from Mr. Mark. Feedback is split into a grammar score, a spelling score, some overall feedback, and also some specific ways you can improve your writing using a particular example from your own text and how you can make it sound more clearer and get your point across and sound more professional. You get 5 submissions a month for free, and if you try out Mr. Mark and you find it really useful and you could use even more submissions, then plans start at $5 a month, which is really affordable even for students. Now let's go behind the scenes and see how Mr. Mark works. All the code is hosted by Wix on this website, and I used Velo to do the coding. What happens functionally is when the user sends a submission through the form, the submission gets saved first to a collection, and then that collection and the details get sent to a backend function. The backend function first checks the user's plan and their submission limit and how many submissions they've done in the month. And then if they have capacity still, then it sends the submission along with the Mr. Mark prompts to the OpenAI ChatGPT API. Then all the bits of the feedback are added back to the collection, and then the user's redirected to the feedback page, which is a dynamic page where it has all of the submissions that they've done and short bits of Mr. Mark's response and feedback for them. And since it's a dynamic page, also it means that when they click on any of them, it takes them to another dynamic page, which is specifically for that individual submission. And then it has all details, what they actually wrote, and the full response from Mr. Mark and how they can improve. Everything else, from the emails to payment processing, is done pretty much with the Wix tools and whatever's recommended or built in with Wix, and it's been working well so far. As you might expect, I used Velo or dev mode quite a bit on this project to get the specialized functionality that was needed for Mr. Mark. And so let's jump into that. For one, in the feedback page, we have the repeater. It's just showing the submissions of the current logged in user. And so how do we get the current logged in user is using the Wix members API, which is part of the Wix, the members area app. And that sorts out all the login and log out and change emails and log in with Google, everything. And also because of using that, then we can do the filter using the Wix data SPI. There are a few more packages I used on the Try It page. Wix window, which is used to bring up the light box, which says the processing. It has the spinny wheel. That's where it only comes up after the data is sent to the backend, which is more useful than having it set up straight away when the user presses the submit button. That was done with Wix window. Then in the light box, we actually use Wix animations to make the spinner spin. And we also have Wix location, which means that once all the processing is done and we get a response, the user gets redirected to the feedback page. The brains of Mr. Mark is run on the back end using a web module, and the API calls are done with fetch and using for the API key, I use the secrets manager, which means that obviously that the API key is safe from people on the front end, like just intercepting it and taking it and spending a bunch of money on my OpenAI account. Also on the back end, I use the Wix pricing plans backend package to say what was the last time the current user got charged for their plan, if they have a plan, and then update the limit based on that and calculate how many they've used since they got charged. I'm really happy and proud of what I was able to do with Wix and Velo for this hackathon. With Mr. Mark, I think I'm going to take it further even once the hackathon is finished and continue developing it into a product and hopefully build up some users and sell. Yeah. I can see down the road Mr. Mark being able to give feedback in different languages, even maybe helping people to learn different languages, and having more of a tutor feel where he even has his own learning plans, or he can help you rewrite things and be more of a writing assistant depending on what people want. All of that really is with the same goal of having an AI English tutor or language tutor to help people learn English better. Thanks so much for watching my video. If you haven't already, please check out Mr. Mark for yourself at mrmark.io and share any thoughts you have with me. I really want to hear them. See ya!